Welcome to our journey into the heart of African folklore, where stories come alive and lessons are woven into the fabric of our culture. Today, we explore the timeless tales that have shaped generations, teaching us about love, wisdom, and the consequences of our actions. Meet Wana, a loving mother, and her curious twins, Taiwo and Kihind. Like many families, they find joy in the simple moments, but as the night unfolds, they are drawn into a story that challenges their understanding of right and wrong. Wana's family lived on the outskirts of Ibadan, surrounded by the serene embrace of nature. Their home was a humble abode, but it was filled with warmth and love. The twins, Taiwo and Kihind, were inseparable. They shared a bond that went beyond their physical resemblance. Their curiosity knew no bounds, and they were always eager to learn about the world around them. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden hue over the landscape, Wana gathered her children around the fire. The flickering flames danced in their eyes as she began to weave a tale that had been passed down through generations. In a village not far from here, Wana began, there lived a wise old man named Baba Agba. He was known far and wide for his knowledge of the supernatural and his ability to communicate with the spirits of the forest. People came to him for guidance and protection against the malevolent entities that roamed the land. The twins listened intently, their eyes wide with anticipation. Wana continued, her voice taking on a mystical tone. One night, a powerful storm swept through the village. The wind howled like 1,000 wailing spirits, and the trees bent under its fury. The villagers huddled in their homes, praying for the storm to pass. But amidst the chaos, Baba Agba sensed something was amiss. He could feel the presence of a malevolent force lurking in the shadows. As Wana spoke, the wind outside their home began to pick up, rustling the leaves and creating an eerie atmosphere. The twins glanced at each other, their excitement tinged with a hint of fear. Baba Agba knew he had to act quickly, Wana continued. He ventured into the heart of the forest, guided by the whispers of the spirits. There, he discovered an ancient tree with twisted roots and gnarled branches. It was said that the tree was a gateway to the spirit world, a place where the living and the dead could commune. The twins leaned closer, captivated by the story. Wana's voice grew softer, adding to the suspense. Baba Agba performed a ritual to seal the gateway and banish the malevolent force back to the spirit world. He used the sacred talisman, passed down from his ancestors, to channel his power. The storm began to subside, and the village was saved. Wana paused, letting the story sink in. The fire crackled, and the shadows danced on the walls, adding to the mystical ambience. But, she said, her voice barely above a whisper, the seal was not permanent. It needed to be renewed every generation to keep the malevolent force at bay. If the ritual was forgotten, the gateway would reopen, and the spirits would be free to roam the earth once more. The twins shivered, their imaginations running wild. Wana smiled, pleased with the effect her story had on them. In our village, she continued, we honor Baba Agba's legacy by performing the ritual every year. It is a reminder of the power of our ancestors and the importance of keeping their traditions alive. As the night grew darker, the wind outside their home began to howl, much like the storm in Wana's story. The twins clung to their mother, their fear mingling with excitement. They knew that their world was filled with mysteries and wonders, and they were eager to explore it all. The next morning, the twins awoke to find the village buzzing with activity. It was the day of the annual ritual, and everyone was preparing for the ceremony. Taiwo and Kihind followed their mother to the village square, where the elders had gathered. The air was thick with anticipation as the villagers formed a circle around the ancient tree. The elders chanted in a language that had been passed down through generations, their voices blending with the rustling leaves and the whispering wind. Wana handed each of the twins a small talisman, similar to the one Baba Agba had used. "This will protect you," she said, her voice filled with love and pride. "Always keep them close, and remember the stories of our ancestors." The twins nodded, clutching the talismans tightly. They watched in awe as the elders performed the ritual, their movements fluid and graceful. The air crackled with energy, and the tree seemed to come alive, its branches swaying in rhythm with the chants. As the ceremony came to an end, the village erupted in celebration. The twins joined in the festivities, their hearts light with joy. They knew that they were part of something greater, a legacy that had been passed down through the ages. But as the night fell and the celebrations died down, a sense of unease settled over the village. The wind began to pick up again, carrying with it an eerie whisper. The twins huddled together in their room, their minds racing with thoughts of Baba Agba and the malevolent force he had banished. "What if the seal is weakening?" Taiwo whispered, his voice filled with fear. Kihan shook her head, trying to reassure her brother. "Mama said the ritual keeps us safe. We'll be fine." But Taiwo couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. As the wind howled outside, he felt a strange urge to go to the ancient tree. He glanced at Kihind, who seemed to be thinking the same thing. Without a word, the twins slipped out of their room and made their way to the village square. The tree stood tall and imposing, its branches swaying in the wind. The air around it seemed charged with energy, and the twins could feel the hair on their arms stand on end. "Do you feel that?" Taiwo asked, his voice barely audible. Kihind nodded, her eyes wide with fear. "It's like the tree is calling to us." As they approached the tree, they noticed something strange. The talismans they had been given began to glow, casting a soft light in the darkness. The twins exchanged a nervous glance, their curiosity outweighing their fear. They reached out and touched the tree, and a sudden surge of energy coursed through their bodies. The world around them seemed to fade away, and they found themselves standing in a strange, otherworldly landscape. The sky was a deep shade of purple, and the air was filled with the scent of ancient herbs. The twins looked around in awe, their fear momentarily forgotten. "Where are we?" Kihind asked, her voice trembling. Taiwo shook his head, unable to find the words to answer. They had entered the spirit world, a place that existed beyond the boundaries of their reality. As they explored their surroundings, they encountered spirits of all shapes and sizes, some friendly and others menacing. The twins knew they had to find a way back home, but they were also aware that they had a responsibility to protect their village. They had been chosen to continue Baba Agba's legacy, and they were determined to do whatever it took to keep the malevolent force at bay. Their journey through the spirit world was filled with danger and adventure. They encountered powerful entities, some of whom offered guidance and others who sought to lead them astray. The twins relied on their wits and the lessons they had learned from their mother to navigate this treacherous landscape. As they ventured deeper into the spirit world, they discovered the source of the malevolent force. It was an ancient entity, a being of darkness and chaos that had been sealed away by Baba Agba. The seal was weakening, and the entity was growing stronger with each passing moment. The twins knew they had to act quickly. They performed the ritual they had learned from their mother, using their talismans to channel their power. The air crackled with energy as they chanted the ancient words, their voices blending with the whispers of the spirits. The entity fought back, its dark energy swirling around them like a storm. But the twins stood firm, their determination unwavering. They focused all their energy on sealing the entity away, just as Baba Agba had done before them. Finally, with a blinding flash of light, the entity was banished back to the spirit world. The twins collapsed, exhausted but victorious. They had saved their village, but they knew that their journey was far from over. As they returned to their reality, they found themselves standing by the ancient tree. The wind had died down, and the air was calm. The talismans they had been given had returned to their normal state, no longer glowing with the otherworldly light. The twins exchanged a relieved smile, their bond stronger than ever. They knew that they had a duty to protect their village and keep the traditions of their ancestors alive. And they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. But just as they were about to head home, a faint whisper reached their ears, sending a shiver down their spines. The twins turned to see a shadowy figure emerging from the darkness, its presence both familiar and terrifying. "Welcome back," the figure said, its voice filled with malice. "I have been waiting for you." And so, the tale continues. Will the twins be able to overcome this new threat and protect their